especially a dealership, to get it worked on, and or just just a simple oil change, and it comes back and it's a half a quart low, and then like 15 miles down the road, your car starts like shuddering real bad, and you pull over, see what's going on, and you haven't been a mechanic for like 24 years already. It you kind of check a few things, and you end up finding something that is just really out of the ordinary. One of my ignition coils was unplugged and just kind of like set back on there so it would kind of make contact and everything, but so I fixed that, put some more oil in it. Next time I took it back to the Toyota dealer, and this is a Toyota dealership now, so took it back to get some wheel studs put on, and they didn't have them all in stock, so I said, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and pay for everything, and parts and labor, go ahead and put on what you got. I'm missing like 2 studs off of one of my wheels. I got to have that under control before I take this road trip. So they did it. It was like $430 something. All right, it's a reasonable price. So I go back to get the rest of them put on, and they charge me like another $430 something. And I'm like, what's this for? They're like, oh, this is for the labor. I'm like, nah, bro, I already paid for all that. Like, you got the parts and the labor on here. Why am I being charged basically $900 for just changing out some wheel studs? I could have done that on my own, especially if I'd have known it was $900. They're like, well, it's like, all right, I'm gonna let it go this time. But here's what really got me was while they were working on my vehicle, replacing those wheel studs, they broke one of my brake lines and 2 of my caliper bolts, and they added that to the price as well. I'm like, whoa, what's all this about? They're like, oh, well, one of your brake lines got a hole popped in it after one of the caliper bolts broke. I said, okay, what's that got to do with me? Oh, well, parts aren't free. I said, yeah, but you're the one that broke it, not me. You're the one that broke the bolts, not me. Why am I responsible for your mistake? Oh, I said, yeah, exactly, I'm not. So I'm not paying for that, nor did I approve those fixes, so those are coming off anyways. Sorry, I'm getting a little heated, y'all. Getting a little heated, because there's another incident. Right after picking up my vehicle last time, and being rather upset about the $900 to replace wheel studs, I get down the road, not even 2 blocks, and I'm sitting at a red light, and my brake pedal just starts going slowly further and further, and now it's past my gas pedal. I'm like, no, see, my brake pedal, it wasn't doing this before. So I brought it back. They're like, well, we can get you in, like, if you leave it with us, we might be able to get you in sometime this week. I'm like, dude, I'm literally leaving for a trip. I ain't got time for that. He's like, okay, well, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to do it myself, because y'all don't seem to be able to do things right around here. I never got around to it because, one, I was like, no, screw that. It's not my responsibility. They messed it up, and now stuff's going to mess up on my truck. I haven't had time to get my truck back up there. I'm rambling at this point, so I'm gonna try and make it a little quicker. What ended up happening was there was air in my line. It, over time, moved its way to the back driver's side caliper, and after the brakes would release, that air would expand back and start putting pressure on the rear brake caliper, on the brake rotor. and that caused it to overheat, and that caliper went bad. Well, I'm not sure it really went bad just yet, more that there was air in that line, and it was, after it would expand, it would put the pressure back on the pads on the caliper. So I've got my old parts, but they had to replace both rear calipers, both rear rotors, some brake drum parts, and now one of my brakes doesn't touch the rotors. So I'm gonna have to bring it back, and they said it was gonna be $2,400. I said no. They said, okay, well, we can do it for like $1,400. I said, okay, that's better, but still, this is your fault. And the biggest thing, the absolute biggest thing, is they cost me my day job. Because my vehicle wasn't ready in time, I travel out of state for work, and I need a vehicle that can haul stuff. I said, okay, well, it's not done. Oh yeah, that was another thing. I said I need it. I gotta leave Friday morning. First thing Friday morning. Before y'all open, I gotta leave Friday morning. So to the average person, that would mean I need my truck Thursday night, right? No, not to them. They're like, oh, well, I thought we had until this evening, so I put a couple of vehicles in front of you. Dude, you what? You put vehicles in front of my vehicle. Why are you doing that? Oh, because I thought I had more time. And one of the parts, we had to replace another brake line. One of the parts wasn't, it didn't come in. It was like an hour away, and it was supposed to be here by 2, but, you know, no one, it didn't show up, and no one called to check and see if it was going to show up. Dude, if it's not there by the time it's supposed to be, you call them and be like, hey, what's the holdup? I got vehicles I got to move. And if they're like, oh, we're swamped over here, we can't get to you today, you send somebody from your dealership the hour away to go get it. Okay, so we're back at vehicle isn't done yet, and I have to leave an hour ago. Okay, I'm gonna need a loaner then. We might have a RAV4. I'm like, that's not gonna be big enough. And then like, he checks on the computer. He's like, oh no, all we've got is a Camry right now. I'm like, the RAV4 wasn't big enough. The Camry's definitely not gonna be big enough. I gotta fit a ladder. I gotta fit other stuff in there, dude. Like, I need something that's not gonna be good enough. You're gonna cost me my job with this. Sure enough, I get to where my job is, and I needed a truck. I needed to be able to haul some equipment, and I wasn't able to. So the owner had to. He wasn't too happy about that. So, and I'm really not happy about it, because I pretty much missed out on the money that was going to pay for the parts that they just put on at Toyota that they caused the problem. Oh man, I'm kind of irritated. Yeah, I'm so upset that I can't even talk anymore. Kind of irritated with Toyota. And at least my local dealership. I'm sure there's other ones that are much better. So with that rant being over and all of that, let's get back to shooting. Sorry that took so long. Sorry, and if you're still here, dude, thank you. You're awesome. I really appreciate y'all. Oh, by the way, so I know I haven't said anything about my Patreon page. I do have a Patreon page. You're not really getting much out of it, or you weren't until now, because even though I don't have any Sig Sauer products or pistols, I have a whole bunch of Sig Sauer sights, like Trijicon, Indiglo. I think that's a watch thing, but You know what I'm talking about. I got a whole box full of pistol sights, and for my Patreon supporters, I'm gonna start giving away a set a month, like one set a month, and yeah, but you gotta be on the Patreon, um, and I'm pretty sure like the first few people, like you're gonna have the best deal. Like you're gonna be like $5, you get in, and then it's probably gonna be between like 2 or 3 people the first month. So uh, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Um, I also got another video coming up on like a universal survival spear. It's something I made like a little over a year ago, and just something to go out camping with and hiking with or something. It's basically just a spearhead with 3 prongs on it, and you find a stick and screw it onto that stick. Um, y'all see it next time. I hope y'all like it. Uh, Man, that again that suntan lotion does smell good. Back to shooting though. Let's see if this battery's still. Where is it? It's off. Okay. Are we loaded?